I think we're into double digits on errors in this game. And this is where Coach Ivey's had enough, and he chicken wings Exum. The only coach that should be complaining about Giannis should be the Australian coach. Giannis had seven fouls in this game, and 2 of them were called.
Hello, basketball fans. Welcome to Give Me Control. I'm your host, Donatas Urbanas, and I'm joined by Todd Warnick, a former top-level referee and a referee coach. For those who don't know, we dive deep into the referees' decisions, analyzing whether the calls were right or wrong. So just please remember that the full episode is available only for BN Plus members. So make sure to subscribe to BN Plus to catch it all, and the first month is for free. On this episode, we've got to talk a lot about a lot of stuff, including some big statements from South Sudan head coach Royal Ivey, who called the crucial game against Serbia a travesty. And Greece coach Vassilis Spanoulis also criticized referees for allowing players to beat Giannis Antetokounmpo. So, Todd, let's start with the South Sudan and Serbia game. Coach Ivey demanded answers in iconic press conference following the loss against Serbia. He was questioning how Serbia shot 31 free throws while South Sudan only shot 6. So, how would you explain this difference, and was Coach Ivey right calling it a travesty?
Coach Ivey came to the press conference. He was very emotional about what he thought he saw on the floor. And South Sudan, first of all, doesn't play basketball, as he claims, any differently. Or in Africa, do they play any differently than the game is played anywhere else? South Sudan plays the same basketball game that Serbia plays. They play the same as Puerto Rico and the United States. Everybody plays the same. If you look at shot charts for any league around the world, whether it's the Lithuanian league or the Israeli league or the French league or the Euro League, the game is played the same everywhere around the world, and South Sudan doesn't play any different than anybody else. It's all three-point shots, or it's drive to the paint, get to the rim, kick the ball out, pick and roll. It's all the same game. So from that point of view, I don't think Coach Ivey has a good claim as to the referees not understanding African basketball. They're playing basketball just like everybody else. From that point of view, I don't think Coach Ivey has a claim as to why the referees did not referee in the way that he thought they should referee. Now, what he doesn't express is what I think was the biggest problem for South Sudan, and that's the 2 fouls that got called on Gabriel in the first quarter. The first one was at 3:46 in the first quarter, where there was a play around the basket where Gabriel, he's legal on this play, and he blocks Jokic in a clean manner, and the referee from the outside makes the call without having a good angle on the play. So that was mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 also was a foul called on Gabriel at 1:42. So now you have a big problem here because Gabriel in this play also, he's legal. Jokic runs into him. I don't think there's enough for an offensive foul. I think we should have had a no call on this play, but Gabriel is not illegal on this play. So we have a problem here for South Sudan that Gabriel, who's a key player for them, he's got 2 fouls already in the first quarter, and he has to be substituted. So had Coach Ivey come to the press conference and said that, I would have understood that a lot better. After that, he had some other, I think, legitimate complaints. If we go back to the video again, we'll see with 30 seconds left in the first quarter. We'll see Jones go to the basket. He drives the paint, gets a little shove from Guduric from behind, doesn't get a call. Then we go to the second quarter, 8:39. We have an illegal block by Guduric on Sheak on the drive in the paint. Now, if you're going to call the foul on Gabriel in the first quarter, you got to make this call also at 8:39 on Guduric, who's not in legal guarding position. Then at 8:12, Micic gets beat going to the basket by Cole. He fouls him, and then at the end of the play, Micic actually shoves Maluak into Cole on the shot, and no foul is called. And this is where Coach Ivey's had enough, and he gets a technical foul on this play. Even after that, at 7:26, Guduric again. He's holding Jones on the out of bounds play, and then after it breaks up, Then Jones pushes him and he gets an offensive foul. The offensive foul is correct, but it's frustration because Guduric is using too much hands on Jones, and Ivey is right there Coach Ivey is right there on top of the play. He sees it, complains about it, and then Jones gets the offensive foul, which is a correct call, but it's a frustration foul by Jones. So Coach Ivey, I don't know if it's a travesty, but definitely there was some inconsistencies in the criteria, which really it did affect South Sudan's ability to compete with Serbia in this game, especially when you take into account the two fouls that were called on Gabriel in the first quarter.
Okay, so just to sum it up, Todd, so the number of mistakes was unacceptable, or like something you can tolerate, and of course, fix going forward at the final stage of the Olympics. Is this game, it requires some special attention and special decisions following what we've seen that happened. To watch the entire episode, please subscribe to Be On Plus on BasketNews.com/plus, where Todd Warnick expands on the problems in South Sudan and Serbia game, also gives an interesting perspective of Giannis' treatment at the Olympics, and I would say disagrees with Vassilis Spanoulis, and also gives another interesting thought about the lack of depth at the Olympic basketball tournament regarding the officiating crew.